You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. All right, it is official. Mickey Joseph has joined the Nebraska football coaching staff. He leaves LSU after joining the staff back in 2017. He had been on Coach O's staff since Ed Orgeron got the job. Receivers coach, primary recruiter in New Orleans. And now that's a big hole that Brian Kelly is going to have to fill. This news broke yesterday while we were on air, but it is official now that Mickey Joseph is back at Nebraska as a wide receivers coach, associate head coach, and passing game coordinator. As I understand it, Mickey Joseph's getting about a $100,000 per year raise from what he was making at LSU. They're at Nebraska, so he's going to make more money. He goes back to his alma mater. But to be very clear, you don't leave the stability of LSU, where he'd been since 2017, where the new head coach just got a 10-year contract, where you're going to have that stability on staff, to go to a place where the head coach just took a pay cut so as not to be fired. What's happening with Scott Frost right now is very similar to where LSU staff was a year ago, where a lot of people looked at the uncertainty around Ed Orgeron and said, I'm not sure I want to join that staff because that coach might not be there in another year or so. So that probably lends you to believe that maybe Mickey Joseph wasn't confident that he was going to be retained, or maybe I don't know. I'm guessing here. I do not know whether he had that conversation if he was told he wouldn't be retained, but maybe assuming with a new coach coming in, that's why he made the decision now to take that jump, and it's going to make more money, as I understand it, at Nebraska than he was making at LSU. So there's a huge void in LSU staff right now, because you have got to hire somebody that can recruit New Orleans. It's too important of a recruiting ground for LSU to not have someone on staff that is dedicated to that spot, that has deep roots in that space. Frank Wilson did it. Jabbar Jalouk followed him. Mickey Joseph followed him. Frank Wilson had been the head coach at O. Perry Walker. Jabbar Jalouk had been the head coach, I believe, at Carr. Mickey Joseph was a New Orleans high school legend. Everybody knows the Josephs, from Mickey and Terry and Vance. I mean, Derek, they're like New Orleans high school royalty. So they're going to have to find, Brian Kelly's going to have to find somebody on staff that can be that guy. I don't know who it is. If I were going to throw out some names, and my understanding is Brian Kelly wants to move very quickly here to solidify his staff. And I mean maybe as quickly as like the weekend or early next week to finish his staff, because I think he understands the early signing period is less than 2 weeks away. So you've got to have some finality and some of these things solidified to be able to go recruit and finish off this recruiting class with a lot of big fish still out there. The coordinator spots people talk about a lot. I think offensive coordinator is much more obvious than defensive coordinator. I don't know where Brian Kelly is thinking defensively. Offensively, there are some obvious ones. Jeff Lebby at Ole Miss just makes a ton of sense. He's been a Broyles Award finalist, bright guy, wide open offense. And look, Jeff Lebby has been a primary recruiter for Walker Howard at St. Thomas More, so it would make a lot of sense there as well for the future. Kendall Briles up at Arkansas. Would you leave Arkansas for the opportunity to come to LSU? Absolutely you would, where there's stability and where they can certainly pay, and we all understand that. The name that I would mention that's sort of I don't want to say a long shot as OC, but someone to keep in mind is Chip Long. Chip Long is the OC at Tulane, who had been on Brian Kelly's staff at Notre Dame, also has SEC experience, having been at Tennessee. So just a name worth keeping in mind, and maybe Chip Long, even if it's not OC, finds a role on staff that can recruit New Orleans. So we'll see what names may pop up, but Mickey Joseph now officially off the LSU staff. He's joined the Nebraska staff. That's a big hole that Brian Kelly's got to fill with someone in that New Orleans area. So we'll see what those answers are in relatively short order as Brian Kelly works to finish the staff. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.